Greetings, geometry students. This is 9.5. Welcome back. Hopefully 9.4 wasn't too terrible for you. And we are nearing the end of this massive unit. And I apologize, but there are a lot of concepts that we need to be familiar with. So as we kind of look at what we're dealing with, so we'll start with the volume of a pyramid. So remember, a pyramid has one base, two-dimensional base, all leading up to one point up here. So if we consider that the area of a prism is just base times height. So the volume of a prism is just base times height. How does that change when you're dealing with a pyramid? And the answer is not a lot. A lot of people would try telling me that a pyramid relative to a prism the same size is going to be half. One half is going to be incorrect. Remember, we're dealing with three-dimensional space. So a good way to remember it is that you are just going to take base times height almost as if it was a prism, but you are going to divide it by 3. Okay, so this is what should go on your formula sheet right here. And the volume of a cone is not too different, except we know what shape the base is. So remember, big B is just area of the base, whatever that is. And H is going to be your height, sometimes called your altitude. So from the top straight down the bottom, making a 90-degree angle. So when we look here, number 1, remember I'm going 1/3 base times height. 1/3 area of my base is just 9.5 times 8 times my height, which is 9. So it's doing some calculator mashing. I get that to be approximately 202.67. So 9.5 times 8. Oh, sorry, hold on, I made a mistake there. 9.5 times 8 times 9, divide that by 3. I get 228 centimeters cubed. That works better. So this becomes 684 times 1/3. So that's what I get. Number 2. Oh, this is very nice. It gave me the area of the base for me. So I'm just going to take 22 times 5 and divide it by 3. So that's going to be 36.67 centimeters cubed. Okay, and remember, everything is stemming from this formula. Okay, that's kind of what I'm doing. So now here, it might be a little tougher to see, but this base is a triangle. So, and it's a right triangle. So the area of a triangle, remember, is just 1/2 base times height. So 1/2, 15 times 6. So when I do that, I get 45 square feet. So now the volume would be 1/3 times base times height. So 1/3 times 45 times 14. So I get 210 cubic feet when I do that. 210. Okay? That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. I figure out the area of the triangle because that's what shape my base is. Then I use that up here, and then away I go. So Brooke is my intent that is the shape of a rectangular pyramid. The base is 6 feet by 8 feet. So we'll call this 8 feet, call this 6 feet. So there's a center pole in the middle, and it holds 88 cubic feet of air. How tall is the 10th center pole? So it's a rectangular pyramid, so this makes a rectangle, and we're kind of considering it to look like this. Okay, use a little bit of imagination. So your volume equals 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. We know that the volume is 88. So 1/3, area of the base will just be 8 times 6, and we're looking for the height. So this will be 1/3 times 48 times h. So it'll be 88 equals 16 times h. So if I divide both sides by 16, so my h should be 5.5 feet. So how tall is this thing in the middle? How tall is this height? 5.5. And that's it. That's all I'm doing. That's it. So how did things change with the cone? The answer is only a little bit. So if I still keep with this volume 1/3 times big B times height, except I know that in this case, my base is a circle. So I know that's a circle. I know it's going to be pi r squared. So my volume of a cone ends up being 1/3 pi r squared times height. All right, and this is what should go in your formula sheet. So make sure that it finds its way on there. Okay, so again, height hasn't changed, except now radius is coming into play. And since we're dealing with circles, pi will also come into play. So here we have this, oblique cone. It's kind of shoved over a little bit. It's not straight up and down. So 1/3 times 3.2 squared pi times 5.8. Okay, that's kind of all of it together. So 1/3, this would be the area of my circle. This would be my height. So now it becomes a fair amount of calculator mashing. After which I get 62.195 meters, and that should be cubed, not squared. So that should be raised to the 3rd power there. For number 6, this tells you your height. So 1/3 times 8 squared pi times 15. So 64 times pi times 15. All that divided by 3.31 centimeters cubed. That's kind of it. It's a bit of it's a bit of just starting with your formula, and then it's just plug and play. Put in the pieces and do a little calculator work and let it kind of go. All right. So this one, a little bit twist. So we know this is 90, this is 58, this is 11. So 11 will be our height. Figuring out my radius will be a little bit different trick. So if I take this triangle, just kind of take the triangle out, I know that that's 11. I'm looking for r. I'm actually going to take the tangent of 58. Okay, we're going to go way back into trig, back from unit 6, and we've seen this some other places as well. So I'm going to go back to trig here, and remember, all that happens is those two trig places. So make sure your calculator is in degree mode, and I get 6.87. Okay, so 6.87, that's my radius. So pi 6.87 squared. Squared times pi times 11 divided by 3, 544.23. That's my answer. This piece, nice little blast from the past as far as trig. So we don't want to lose those skills. So we have to keep those sharp. So here, another situation where we got a 30-degree angle here, and this is 5. And again, I want this. So now I can do trig, I can do SOHCAHTOA, like I did the last one. Or I could actually do 30, 60, 90 triangle. But of the two, way more people like that better. So I'm looking again for the tangent of 30 equaling 5 over x. Okay, so in what we're looking for, volume 1/3 base times height, so 1/3 pi r squared times height. I know that my height is going to be 5. So now, what's my radius going to be? Well, 5 divided by the tangent of 30 will be 8.66. So I need to square that. So 8.66 squared times pi times 5 divided by 3. So that gets me 392.7 centimeters cubed. Okay, that's it. Okay, so start with this. Realize that there might be some trig involved at some point. So just kind of remind you of those skills. And I look forward to answering your questions.